This time on the laboratory, we're going to be working on the London Skating Club base. I do not have the rest of it because the base is the problem. So it's given to me without the rest of the parts. But the problem is the motor inside here, right there, doesn't work. So this is a 12 volt AC system. So 12 volts coming out of the Variac. I plug it in, light turns on, but there's no noise. So to save time, I removed all the screws from the bottom. I'm sure as much as you like watching these videos, you probably don't like me watching me tear apart all these screws. They're all right here on a little magnet, so I keep them together. So there's the motor. It didn't come with the power supply either, so hence the reason I'm using the Variac, but nothing. No turning. So, it has a bad motor, and apparently it's a relatively common issue with this piece. So, we need to remove these 4 screws to get this motor up. So, those I didn't remove, so you can see what to do it. The screws on the bottom are these all the way around. They're very easy to take out. The motor is a 12 volt AC motor. It is originally a 10/12 RPM counterclockwise rotation motor. Now, the replacement motors are not 10/12 RPM anymore because those things pretty much don't exist. A lot of these old synchronous motors that were made in the old days, they do not make in the new days. So, unfortunately, it happens. So, I went to Happy Holiday Parts or Suntronics and bought the motor kit for this because I don't have a motor and I don't have a lot of synchronous motors because there's so many styles and sizes. The kit comes with, besides a business card, it comes with the motor, a couple of zip ties, some lubrication, and this is the replacement motor. 12 volt AC CCW, and this is a 4 watt and this one is a 3 watt, so they're very close. So now those are removed, right? 1 2 3 4. We just lift this up. See, there's a screw holding the synchronous motor together. It holds the gear to the motor, and unscrew it and set the screw aside. This comes with a screw, but this screw is not the same head. It's recommended you use the original screw. So I'm going to take this screw out and this lock washer. Set those aside just to make sure because I want to verify. And then this is a double flat keyed gear. You'll be able to see. Hold it up closer. So you got to kind of walk it off because it's a tight fit, but it should fit on here just fine, like so. And then I'm going to cut these wires. I'm working on so many, I never even have a chance to clean my workbench in between. So snippy. I'm going to get that out of the way. Now, these wires come extra long, and you can leave them extra long, and then that's why the zip ties are here, so you can zip tie the wires together in a bundle. You don't have to, you can cut them short. I'm going to leave them long, most likely. We're going to see. I know the gear's not on it. I'm just making sure that we have proper alignment of the holes. We do. So, this is an AC motor. It's an AC assembly. AC motors, there's no polarity on these wires. So it doesn't matter which of these 2 wires you connect to these 2 wires. Now there's multiple ways to connect these. You can actually use itty bitty wire nuts. You can use a Wago connector. If you don't know what a Wago connector is, it's what these things are right here. You can crimp them together, you can butt connect them together, you can solder them together. There's many ways to attach wires. I'm going to unscrew this so I don't accidentally break the bulb. So I am going to solder the wires together and then heat shrink them. Any way that you can get the wires to connect to each other is totally fine. Whatever works for you. Soldering just gives you, if you solder good, or good enough, solder just gives you a better connection across the wire. So, and get some heat shrink. That's probably going to be too fat. Find a different heat shrink. Oh, my heat shrink baggie broke open everywhere. Nice. Turn this off. That way it saves my battery. Okay, this heat shrink doesn't fit over the red insulation, so I need the next size up. This is the size I need right here. So, cut 2 pieces so I can stick one on each side so they're both insulated. And I'm going to move it far away from the heat source of the soldering iron. Now, Happy Holiday Parts does have a video on how to do this as well. So if you've ever ordered from them and you've ordered this specific motor, there is a video on their page for this part. There we go. Couldn't get a grip on it and slide it down. What's nice is it comes with lubrication. It comes with Super Lube from superlube.com. It is a synthetic grease with PTFE, and unfortunately it's leaking. So there was grease in the inside of the package. Luckily there's none on the motor I have to worry about because it can get in around where these white spots are. But the business card is greasy, which is why I threw it back inside of the envelope. The thing got damaged in shipping, the grease, probably because the motor hit it. You know, these little wings are sharp. Alright. If you have helping hands, they work too. If not, you can try and twist and bend the wire to where you can solder it. You want to make sure that your solder joint isn't bigger than your wire's insulation here, since we have to slide heat shrink down it. You can also solder them sideways and then use the heat shrink like a wire nut. I've done that many a times. It's actually how like Lemax does a lot of their solder joints. One. Sometimes these wires just don't want to, play nice. two. Little tug, make sure they're good. I'll let those cool down a little before I put the heat shrink on them. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the gear on. No. Put my screwdriver around here somewhere. There we go. There's the gear. Now I'm going to set this in place. Now on these four legs, two of them have an alignment set, so you can't put it in wrong. And I'm going to now screw these down. Then I'm going to run the heat shrink. So, if you put the heat shrink on while the wires are still hot, there's a chance the heat shrink will shrink before you get it across the wires, and then you have to use electrical tape or something of the sort. One. And the thing about heat shrink is do not forget to shrink it. So you can use a heat gun, which I don't want to wait for it to heat up. So I'm just going to go old school and use a lighter real fast since I'm here. Like that. There you go. Let's put in the rest of the screws, plug it in, see if it turns, and then we'll add some lubrication to these big old gears. This gear spins on a shaft, so I'm going to put a dab so that the inside friction of the gear gets covered. So I'm going to lift the gear a little. I'm going to squirt a little here on the inside of the ring and then set her back down, so that way when I turn it on, the plastic on plastic part that spins on will be good. Let's make sure this works. Plug it in, turn it on. There you go. So, while it's turning, I'm going to add a little lubrication to the teeth, not a lot, just to help with the where they meet each other. Now underneath this gear, well underneath this lip, there's another gear that these rotate, makes this rotate. So you can see it's working now. It's very quiet, makes almost no noise. So I think we're good. Normally I don't lubricate the teeth, but I noticed on these big gears, if you help lubricate them, there's a little bit more friction on these teeth when they touch each other because of how far in they go. It helps a little bit. So we're gonna do that. I'm now going to put the light bulb in. I am cleaning it off, making sure my fingers are dry as well as the light bulb is clear of dust and grease. Like that. So, and then, so the zip ties, as you see now, we have a big loop of wire. It might get caught in the gears or get caught in the light bulb. So the zip ties, you can make a nice little loop, and you can zip tie your excess wire down. I'm going to zip tie it to the wire from the light. And if you decide to cut the wires, you don't have to do this part. The reason I like the wires is if any of the wires break, you have extra wire left over that you can use to repair. So. I got grease on my fingers. I can't grab this thin plastic over here. So, a little helping hand here with a pair of needle nose tweezers, or some pliers. We got a little cable management going on now, and then cut off the tails. Careful with this because there are wires attached to control the power into the light and the motor. So try not to break those wires. And make sure everything's lined up. Motor should fit. There we go. So, and then you just put the screws back in the bottom there, which is the easy part. Lights on. Do I have anything small and magnetic that'll stick to the track? Magnets. I was looking for something that would show you that it's actually turning. I don't think I have anything small that's going to stick very well. There we go. Now, to clean this, I would use isopropyl alcohol to get the residue up and some of this dust that's etched in, this darker spots. And then furniture polish to polish the surface for a better gliding surface. So I'll probably clean this up before I give it to her, but I'm not going to polish it for the owner. I'll tell her to do that when she gets it back. That way it doesn't cause any problems with her. Maybe she uses a different type of polish or wax to make this a slick surface for the stuff to glide on. But anyhow, so I'll leave a link for the motor in the description below. And if you have this one, the London skating ring, you can get replacement parts from Happy Holiday Parts. You can get this motor in other places too, but the kit that you buy from Victor comes with lubrication and zip ties, which is nice, so you don't have to find your own. So that's the video. It's relatively short, which isn't common. Most repairs take forever. But yeah. So any questions, let them below. Again, this was the Dickens Village series, London Skating Club from Department 56, and it was out in 2003. So, oh, and all 4 of these light poles do work. I don't know if the camera picked it up or not, because of the angle and how bright it is in here for me to work. So, but there we go. Until the next time, thanks for watching.